Welcome to Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Setup Shop. We've revamped the format for this series, and tonight we have the trucks at Chicagoland as our qualifying races begin for the upcoming money race for Fast Fridays. For those who haven't joined us before here on Maconi Entertainment, here's what Fast Fridays is. It's a weekly series presented by Maconi Setup Shop that features a variety of car and track combinations each week. With the event format that started off to begin the new year, we've seen drivers attempt to make each race through 3 qualifying races. The races, should say. The top 20 in points automatically lock themselves into the money race for $250 or a giant trophy, whatever they choose. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is William White. David Kreutz is working the controls as our producer as we get ready to go racing at Chicagoland in the fog. William, with Chicagoland being off the docket of real-world racing, there's a lot to be discussed, but it is a racetrack on the sim that is alive and well as a driver and fan favorite on iRacing. Multi-groove racing. In turn, expecting a lot of drivers fighting, especially to begin these runs. What should we expect to see in the midst of foggy conditions in the sim?
Yeah, absolutely. Chicagoland Speedway is definitely a favorite amongst drivers here on iRacing. It is super fun to drive and race with others. As you said, you've got that progressive banking that offers that multi-groove racing. When the tires start to wear, it brings in a very strategic element to racing here that very few tracks offer. But yeah, you mentioned the foggy conditions. It's going to be challenging visibility-wise for these drivers, and just generally it'll not be conditions that they're very used to. I doubt that many of these guys will have run foggy conditions on such a fast oval, in these trucks. At such a high banked 1.5 miles, it kind of feels like Daytona or Talladega. You rarely lift off the throttle, so it's going to be very challenging for these guys in these conditions.
Now, this is the start of a new rotation for Fast Fridays. Let's talk about the schedule of this season. As the drivers continue qualifying, the drivers will be racing in the month of April with the trucks at Chicagoland, as well as with the MX-5s at the Roval at Charlotte, then at Street Stocks at Dover, followed by an Xfinity Series race at Talladega. Then, in the month of May, Xfinity returns at Iowa, the Tour Modifieds at Five Flags, the GR86s at Mid-Ohio, and the money race would be the trucks at Homestead, Miami. Then in June, it's Pro Late Models with Charlotte Dirt as the circuit. The next gens at New Hampshire, Super Late Models at Kentucky, interestingly enough. Then it's the Late Model Stock at Richmond for the money race for the next 3 months. Keep in mind, the money races are those that, when looking at schedules, would be in yellow, and those will see the winner pick up $250 cash or a 3.3-foot trophy, 1 meter tall, to be able to celebrate the respective victory. A lot of the regulars for this series returning to try and see if they can add some more money to their totals, including Michael Curahan, Elaine Kowser, Joshua Colbreth we've seen on the short tracks. But tonight, a few drivers we haven't seen as much of, such as Rick Spencer-Watt in the field. You also throw in, for example, a truck racer has just so happened to put himself on the racetrack tonight. This is Nick Lights. He's made a couple of appearances in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as of late in the 20 machine for Young's Motorsports. Tonight, looking to have a little bit of fun, Maconi style.
Yeah, we've got some star power here tonight for our first race of the new Fast Friday season. Nick Lights, a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver you mentioned, made a few appearances with Young's Motorsports. So it'll be very interesting to see what he can do tonight in that 20 truck, see if he can use that real-world experience to see if he can get himself up towards the front tonight.
Now, track conditions are going to be very icy cold. 66 track temp, 67 the air temp with the result of the fog. It's almost comparable, the only thing I can think of tonight, to, those late night drives when you're driving on the highway or the country roads and all you see is the lights of your car and the dew that's floating around on the grass. Well, tonight the trucks will have that exact situation. It's even colder now because the sim has dropped the track temp even more. The qualifying's already coming to a close, and that means it's time to go racing in the dark. Michael Curahan on the pole tonight alongside Joe Della Vecchia. Then it's Nick Lights who will start alongside Ontario short track racer Rick Spencer-Watt. Jeff Maconi starts 5th alongside Greg Mitchell. Then it's John Crawford and Carter Casey, who qualified 8th. Rounding your top 10 starters tonight, it's Joshua Fireball Colbreth. He'll be making the start alongside Blake Madu for your top 10.
Hugh Linkhauser will be 11th in the 04, and Paul Brown will be in the 70. He's starting 12th. Logan York in the 01 will start 13th. Michael Dow on his outside, and rounding out everyone who's set a lap time is Joe Davide in the 27. He starts 15th. Ross Phillips will be lining up 16th. Joseph Myler 17th. Chase Stewart in the 40 is 18th in that Chevrolet. And rounding out our top 20, Garrett Pick in the 44 and Eugene Tuminello in the 35.
The rest of the drivers who took part in the practice session on screen, several of the drivers elected not to make the start tonight, but several did elect to register and stay in the race. That includes drivers like Ken Jones, who's will be 22nd starting spot, and a couple others who get ready to go racing here from Chicagoland. First things first, William, your keys to victory tonight as we get ready for the start of the new season.
I think staying out of trouble is going to be the primary objective for a lot of these guys, especially when you're up towards the front. These colder track temperatures are going to really increase the grip out there on the speedway, so these guys are seldom going to have to lift off the throttle, so it's going to be a lot like a super speedway race for these guys. So they'll be very much packed in together. They'll be racing tight all the way around the track, so I think staying out of trouble and being there at the end when it matters most is going to be key for these guys.
Drivers get into roll and get themselves positioned for the first start of the night. 60 laps is the distance on the docket here tonight around this 1.5 mile speedway facility here in Joliet, Illinois. Who do you think is going to get the job done tonight, Will, and why?
I mean, it's hard to look past guys like pole sitter Michael Curran. He set a very solid lap time, 30.651. For a past Fast Fridays money race winner, he has his own 3.3 foot tall trophy that he won last season, I believe, in the second money race, and he came oh so close to toppling Aaron Smith II last time out in these very cars at Sonoma Raceway. So we know how good he is. We know what he's capable of on both the road and oval side of things, and he's put it on pole for tonight at Chicagoland. I see no reason why he won't take the checkered flag first tonight.
Almost set to go racing for Fast Fridays here on Maconi Entertainment. It's time for the spring season to see which drivers spring forward to action and leap their way to money and your trophies. Pace car is off, 60 laps on the dock, and a one-stopper if it goes green. We're underway in the fog in Illinois.
The inside line looked to get off to a much better start than the outside there. Michael Curran starts with a decent lead. He's got Nick Lights right on his tail there, but it's Michael Curran out clear in the lead at Chicagoland. Della Vecchia there started second, down to fourth in that 052 as Maconi looks to the inside of Lights. Lights throws the block big time. He's now to the inside of Curran, looking to take the lead into turn 3.
Not a surprise to see Lights jump, and he spins it. The NASCAR driver nearly spins it in front of the whole field with a massive save. Somehow we stay green, 3 and 4 wide to dodge him.
Nick Light sent in hard into turn 3, trying to take the lead early doors, trying to get past Michael Curran, just took off or a bit off more than he could chew there. The truck just gave out on him, the rears lit up and he went around, but that was an awesome save and no one else got involved. So Michael Curran remains the leader. It's lap 2 now. He's got Jeff Maconi, who's made a pretty awesome start, hot on his heels. But Della Vecchia there trying to recover from that less than ideal start back in third.
Currently second is Maconi, Della Vecchia, and Crawford fighting for the top 3. Already a lot of chatter on the radio about tempers building as there's a slide in the midst of the fog. No caution, we stay green. And it looks like already a quick tow for Della Vecchia. He's already gone.
Yeah, Della Vecchia is at a less than ideal start. I think just tried to make up too much ground there. Got loose off of turn 2 there. And we've seen that a lot, icy cold conditions. And while it does offer more grip, sometimes obviously the lower track temperature typically makes the truck faster. It can make the truck loose or prone to getting loose on exit, as we've seen a couple times already with Nick Lights. and most recently Della Vecchia there as Maconi looks to the outside of Michael Curran. So he's the latest challenger of the lead of Michael Curran that he still holds now. End of lap 4, coming to lap 5. Michael Curran has led every single lap. We've now got the 2 truck there trying to challenge Maconi. That's Mitchell there on the inside. So Greg Mitchell now up into second place.
He's been able to already pick up about 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. We expect the question to be fairly high. Not sure how much Texas you've got in quite yet, Will, but, well, the restarts and the overall start can be similar to what we see at Texas. Pack racing to start before the tire wear kicks in because, for many drivers, this is your best chance to gain track position before the tires equalize and start to wear.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to each kind of respective stint, these are the points where aggression is going to be at its highest. Everyone's packed in together. So, as we see, Rick Spencer-Walt trying to make a move on Greg Mitchell there for second place. We're seeing a lot of guys go for moves from first to last. They're trying to make up track position while they still can before everyone starts to fan out and find their own groove and rhythm and trying to save their own tyres there. As you see, Maconi and the 98 there of... There's a custom number, so I don't actually know who that is there on the outside of Maconi, or inside,
Yeah.
beg your pardon.
That 98 would be Joshua Fireball Coldbreath. That's a league paint scheme. He runs with Lone Star Racing, which runs in a couple of different series when it comes to the trucks on the platform. He's making some solid headway as well, and never mind, he crashes for second. Caution flag is out, contact for Coldbreath. And Greg Mitchell is still going backwards. He is hitting the wall backwards. Greg Mitchell has yet to hit the brakes. Let's take a look.
Yeah, we see Coldbreath there on the inside of Maconi there, with the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt on the inside of Greg Mitchell. We see Maconi give a shot there to Mitchell, trying to get him moving. That's that super speedway racing that we see. Spencer-Walt just gets loose, taps Coldbreath, hits the 2 of Greg Mitchell. It's on from there. No one else gets involved, I don't believe, as the 2 starts to scrape up against the outside wall. But that is the first caution of the evening on lap number 8.
Yeah, that was a long way going backwards, though, for Greg Mitchell. Surprised he didn't say, you know what, maybe I should hit the brakes before I hit the wall at the rear end.
Very interesting there, but we're now going to see some pit stops. Michael Curran leads the field into pit road. We'll see if anyone stays out, but I don't believe they will, as I think tyre wear is going to be important tonight. Don't know how many sets of tyres these guys have at their disposal. It's a very early pit stop, so surprised to not see anyone maybe try and save a set for later as Curran pulls into his pit box. Everyone else pulls in behind him.
We had a problem. The reason why the field's so separate, you may have noticed, Rick Spencer-Walt got hit under caution. That happened last night in Top Split in Road to Pro, in fact, where it was Boyd Hogan who got rear-ended when everyone was checking up for the pace car. Then the field ended up losing 6-7 car lengths to the leader before the pit lane because Rick Spencer-Walt this race got hit by Hohenkhauser under caution into 3.
Well, I don't think we caught that on our main camera, but that is definitely going to cause some problems for the chasing pack behind the 24 of Michael Curran, with the 31 of Rick Spencer-Walt getting hit there.
Right there.
You see a replay of it. Wow, big impact. Spencer-Walt goes flying through the grass. Does a good job at saving it.
Yet that's the second straight night we've seen somebody after the first caution end up getting floored into when checking up for the pace car. Remember, foggy conditions. We've turned up the brightness. Some drivers are not able to see as well here. Bit of an earlier check, but you still have to be aware.
Yeah, it's going to cause some big damage to both of those trucks there. You see the front end, the grille of Hohenkhauser caving in there a little bit. You see a massive dent. The back end of Spencer-Walt's 31 car there. And that is going to be big damage to their trucks and their races for those 2 drivers early on.
Getting ready for the restart already. 4 tires for Michael Curran, but a few drivers decided, you know what? Let's take 2 tires. It's a very loose track even with the cold temps. Nick Lights decided to take 2 tires. Also taking 2 tires this caution, Joe David. Davey now did not take any tires at all, and those are some of your front runners here Only drivers in the top 6 on 4 tires are Corhan and Maconi.
Yeah, so we're already seeing a lot of strategy variants there. You mentioned the guys going on 2 tires, some guys taking just fuel. So it's going to be very interesting to see which strategy prevails as the strongest one. We know how multi-groove Chicagoland is, so we'll see how much those left sides get used and whether the 2-stop or the 2-tire call was the right one as we're entering the restart zone now. Curran gets a decent jump on the rest of the field there. Nick Light's caught napping a little bit, but manages to stay in second for the time being. But Maconi's not going to let him have it easy. He's still P3.
Already Maconi to second, in fact. Nick Lights drops back 3 wide as everyone tries to get around those on old rubber here. Again, the interestingness of the call. Unlimited tire sets tonight for the start of this season. A lot of these drivers taking big gambles. Logan York gaining spots 3 wide as several of those who did not take the tires get turned, and there's the checkup. Into the wall goes Yusuf Malil. We're under caution. Quickie yellow already called for. We're under yellow again.
Yeah, looked like Joseph Myler just got tagged there in his right rear as they came off of turn 4 there. We're seeing a replay here as everyone gets very checked up trying to get past the guys that, as you mentioned, were on older rubber. He's 3 wide there in the middle of a couple of tracks. Got Greg Mitchell down below him there. He's got the 13 up above, checks up and just comes up on the 13 a little bit, and that's a fairly hefty whack into the outside wall for Joseph Myler. Brings out our second yellow.
That was across the nose of John Crawford, by the way. Crawford did avoid damage to his truck. They are already being told in sim that 1 to green's coming up. So, getting ready to get back underway. Let's talk a little bit about the third place runner with the real world experience. We touched upon Nick Lights a little bit. There's a lot that can be said about who this driver is. Well, Wikipedia doesn't have the answer, but he provided said answer based on the help of websites. But of course, his family, well known in the motorsports world in Langley Raceway. His dad started up the race team in Lights Racing. They raced in the Thunderbolt division at Langley. His grandfather was a drag racer. His great-grandfather raced at the Langley Speedway as well. Nick took a long while to move up the ladder, going from 2009 as a go-kart racer all the way up to breaking through into the NASCAR's top 3 national divisions in the past 2 years. In fact, he's already made a couple starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season in the number 91 machine.
Yeah, it's been a quick but steady rise there for Nick Lights there up the NASCAR ladder, already making a couple of NASCAR Xfinity Series starts. And as you mentioned, an established driver in the Young's Motorsport stable on the truck series side of things, so we know he has experience in that machine. We'll see if he can get it done tonight at Chicagoland. He restarts P3 after a 2-tire call at the end of our first caution pit cycle, but all the while Michael Curran has led every step of the way.
Corhan, who's won several times in this series already, controlling the field still. Green flag is out, back underway. Good launch from the inside line. Maconi a little bit slower up, but he's getting a push from York.
Yeah, it's very difficult to restart on the outside on these types of tracks. When you restart second, you're basically restarting third as Nick Lights to the inside of Jeff Maconi. The roles have been reversed since the last restart, but Maconi does a brilliant job at hanging it around the outside of the 20 truck. He's got help from behind him there in the 01 truck there just behind him, but he's going to go 3 wide now. Maconi on the top there. Power move there from the 01 of Logan York there, who tries to make his way up into third, but it's Nick Lights who holds second after the restart.
Already some different lines as several drivers use the apron there, not so much as others. In the case of York, Nick Lights though, looking high side, fakes it to the inside for a moment. Here's the chance for the 2 tires to see how long they last. Move the 20 truck to the race lead. The Precision Measurements Incorporated machine up to the point.
Yes, for the first time in this race, Michael Curran is going to have someone in his windshield as Nick Lights leads his fast laps of the evening there at the end of lap number 14, but Curran's not going to let him have it easy. He's got help from Logan York behind him, pushing him all the way into turn 1. Curran still on the outside there of the 20. He'll get the run off the corner. Such is the Multi-Grid Racing of Chicagoland Speedway. They're still side by side for the race lead. Maconi helping Lights, York helping Curran into turn 3, still side by side for the lead, but I think Lights might clear off the turn 4.
Yes, indeed. Very clear it does, in fact. He's the only one out of the top 5 to cut down with the apron this time. Maconi still yet to clear Curhan. Trying to work with a little help from Carter Casey. That's that 8 truck riding on behind. Bottom line, still the better line, it seems, for these starts and restarts as Maconi's going for the lead.
Yeah, Jeff Maconi looking for a power move there to the inside of Nick Lights there. The inside line, very powerful in these foggy, cold conditions. He sneaks to the inside of Lights there. They're side by side for the lead. Maconi will lead lap number 17. Then comes to lap 18 now. Maconi still on the inside there of Nick Lights. There's Curran and Casey behind them. Lights gets a little bit loose there on the inside. Michael Curran now in the middle of 3 wide. That's Carter Casey below them. Maconi clear for the lead. But here comes Michael Curran with a big push from Logan York. He's back to the outside looking for the lead again.
Here's the question of how long the 2 tires would stick. There's the first sign that that could be a struggle. Maconi to the race lead for the first time in a huge block. That was Colbreth getting blocked all the way to the apron and all the way to the grass by Larry Eddy. 3 wide now building up for third. Already Nick Lights shooting for second.
Yeah, Nick Lights not giving up after losing the lead and losing second. He's got Maconi just in front of him, trying to push him past Michael Curran. Maconi is clear for the lead. Nick Lights noses into second, but Curran's not going to let him have it easy there. Off of turn 4, Logan York and Carter Casey just behind them, rounding up the top 5, but it's Maconi and Lights, the top 2, over the line.
A lot of dooring there in the battle for 4th, though. That was Carter Casey pushing Logan York way up to the outside wall just about. Not sure what the deal was there, but they're trading a lot of pain all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're short track race. On Super Speedways, more contact there. Logan York down into the right front of Carter Casey. They make more contact. York gets super loose there into turn 3, but Logan York is up into 4th place. They're almost single file there for up the top 5, 6, 7 positions there. But it's Jeffrey Maconi for the first time. This race is clear for the lead in a single file train.
Third all the way to the action for the race lead again. Lights again with the draft. Again, Maconi lets him take the inside. Once again, the Chevy to the point. The interesting thing is going to be how long these drivers take this run now. Oh, hold on, Maconi into the grass. Curhan gives him a push to clear back.
Yeah, I don't know if there was contact between Lights and Maconi, whether Maconi just got loose there off of turn 4. We've seen it a couple times already tonight. He takes a little excursion through the grass. He retains the lead by a nose for now over Nick Lights, but they're 3 wide behind him. Curran, Casey and Logan York for 3rd, 4th and 5th. There's Colberth and Rick Spencer-Wood, who got hit under caution a little while ago, has made a brilliant comeback to find his way back into the top 7, and the top 7 are all under a blanket as Maconi and Lights still side by side for the race lead.
3 wide still for the 3rd position. I know these drivers are kind of thinking about this right now, but I will say this. There's the chance of a fuel mileage race if they don't somehow bin it with all this playing out here. They are just outside the fuel window to make it the rest of the way. Fuel runs can go up to 51 laps. Colbreth nearly jinxes it, bouncing up for Spencer Walt. Nick Lights nearly turns himself as well. There's a look at the back of the pack of that grouping. These drivers are fighting like it's the last lap still.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if fuel saving maybe just behind these leaders and using the draft to your advantage might actually be beneficial. You mentioned that a fuel run can go anywhere up to 51 laps, and we restarted with about 48 to go. So considering when these guys last pitted on around lap 8, if these guys saved under caution and are still saving now, there is a good chance that they will be fine until the end. But guys like Nick Lights, Jeff Maconi, Michael Curran, who have led a few laps and likely been forfeit all the way around, may not be in such a good position fuel-wise to make it to the end of this race, as Carter Casey now looks to move into 2nd place. Is on the inside there of Nick Lights with Michael Curran back and forth. Rick Spencer Walt's made a few moves. He's up to 5th, so a good comeback for that driver. But Jeffrey Maconi and the Maconi set-up shop Chevrolet still leads the way single file.
Still seen how the cut through comes in. Hearing reports, drivers are starting to burn that right rear tire here. That was kind of some of the expectations. This is a track you need to manage some of the rubber at, after all. Whether it's pushing off a turn 2 or better yet tonight, it seems, getting loose off turn 4, or so loose it's tight.
Yeah, exactly. Typically on these fixed setups on the iRacing service with the C truck, typically tightness is a bit of an issue as the low horsepower. I see contact there at the back. I think it's the 39 that got doored there, but they save it. We keep it green. Running on board here with Maconi just on the inside there.
Trouble, turn 2. 4 drivers hard at the wall. Madu in it, Brown involved. Holy cows are upside down. John Crawford in it, and we're under yellow. It's a big crash at the back.
Huling cows are upside down there. We'll have to see what happened on the Maconi Entertainment replay here. As I think this stemmed from the half incident that happened earlier. Huling cows has to take evasive action to get past a slow truck there. Wonder if the accident happens just in front. It does. Oh, he gets tagged and sent up into the wall. That's a huge impact for the overall Huling cows, who does a barrel roll in the middle of turn 2.
Let's see what triggered this. It looked like a 4-truck incident until watch as some of these drivers rolled down the hill after this slam.
Looks like the 63 just came up into the 13 there. Paul Brown's involved in the 70, a massive impact for the 23, the 04, the 2 gets into the Huling cows, which is what sends him upside down, barrel rolling through the corner. Some of the back markers get through it okay, but that is a big one to bring out our 3rd yellow of the evening.
Pit stops are open. Take out green flag stops from the equation. We're just about halfway through tonight's festivities. And a lot of drivers already taking the faster pair, including Crawford, you see, with the new hood popping up on the big boy racing truck. So again, under caution. And approaching the halfway mark real quickly as pit stops get underway. Tonight's action brought to you by MaconiSetupShop.com. Home for setup, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, more on the iRacing service. It's available as $8 a month. Once again, Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop of eNASCAR and series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fix Series this season. Now, to learn more about Fast Fridays, go to MaconiSetupShop.com/Fast Fridays to make sure you register and earn points to get locked in for the money race. Pit stops complete. A lot of drivers trying to sort themselves out here. The race out the pit lane was won by Nick Lights. Maconi, Casey, Curhan, Spencer Walt was the top 5 of the race.
Yeah, it's a little shift in the race off pit road there, so we're going to restart around about the halfway point. We'll see who took 4 tires, who took 2 tires, who elected to stay out. But I don't think anyone stayed out under that caution period as Nick Lights catches the iRacing.com pace car there, so he'll be the leader coming to this next restart. So it'll be interesting to see how the guys perform in this last round. See if it goes green to the end. The 30 lapper is a fairly long run with the tyre wear that we've seen tonight, guys, getting loose off of turns 2 and 4 to the right rear, bearing the brunt of the issue tonight.
A lot of conversation on the radio at the halfway point of the race. So, what are your thoughts on the night overall?
Well, it's been very entertaining for sure. We've seen fights for the lead pretty much all night long. Nick Lights, Jeff Maconi, Michael Kerr, and some other guys have led laps tonight. But we've seen points where the top 10 are under a blanket and it looks just like a super speedway race at Daytona, Talladega, or in Atlanta, where everyone's kind of packed in like sardines and it seems like trouble is only around the corner. But relatively speaking, it's been quite a clean, respectful race. But we've seen some door banging, and I think the aggression's going to get turned up a notch when we come back to this restart, because time's going to be ticking with how fast these laps are going to blow by.
Let's put it this way. If it goes green, it's a 15-minute race. They can easily get this done in the next 20 minutes. It's all up to how the field wants to race this, if you're thinking about time. But if you're thinking about the victory, a lot of plotting may come into play because of that draft effect. And with the track being so freezing cold for iRacing standards, the pack hasn't broken apart like we've seen with this combo in the past at Chicagoland.
Yeah, I mean, Chicagoland's usually a very, it's a multi-groove track. Usually it seems like the inside line's been the dominant line all race long, and while guys on the outside can hang in there, seems like their defense can't really last for more than a couple of laps. The inside will eventually clear the driver on their outside. We're doubling up here. It'll be Maconi on the outside, Lights on the inside. Lights your race leader. As of right now, they'll restart with 29 laps to go on lap 32. As you see, guys like Logan York trying to warm up their tyres on this icy cold track. We'll see how big tyre temperature is, how big of a factor that is coming to this restart, as guys are going to want to make positions up quickly in these opening laps.
Nick Lights has led several times here tonight, 5 laps led in fact. He's one of just 3 leaders on the night. Maconi and Curran, the others so far. Can he dictate the full tempo though? That's the question. The leaders throughout the race, 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Carter Casey looking to break the party, and Maconi doesn't get a good launch. Hard contact to the back end of the 03. Michael Curran avoids damage, but the outside got checked up heavily.
Yeah, not ideal there for all the outside line guys who are kind of already at an inherent disadvantage. Just from starting on the outside, Maconi might drop down to 4th here. Carter Casey almost cleared him there. Rick Spencer Walt's trying to give a push to that 8 truck, who's going to have a massive run on Nick Lights. He moves to the outside of the 20, but I don't think that attack's going to last very long, as Nick Lights still clear for the race lead. Carter Casey clears 1st, 2nd. Rick Spencer Walt clears Maconi for 3rd, so not an ideal start for Jeff Maconi. He's down to 4th at the line with just 28 laps to go, but Nick Lights under pressure now from Carter Casey.
Rick Spencer Walt about to shake that up though. He wants to finish his recovery drive. Being hit under caution during the first yellow of the night. He's back inside the top 3 here, looking for 2nd. Already on the move, 3 wide. Maconi tried high side, doesn't work. Rick Spencer Walt to P2.
Yeah, Maconi will scarp in the wall there. He is pushing the limits hard, but Rick Spencer Walt almost finishing off that recovery drive beautifully. He's come from the back to the front, and he's all over the back of Nick Lights. The 31 truck looking to take the lead sooner rather than later. Rick Spencer Walt's done brilliantly to get to this point as he now looks to the inside of Nick Lights for the lead. The 31 Menage truck looking to take 1st place and lead his first laps of the night as Nick Lights gets a little bit of a wiggle through turns 3 and 4. Rick Spencer Walt is clear for the race lead.
Now he looks to run away with 26 laps to go now. Looking to try and keep it clean. Oh, wow, it's 2 and 3 wide behind him. Lights has a chance high side, but Curhan is hungry for that lead back. They've handled this lead almost like you would see from NR 2003, a conveyor belt for the lead. Looking like, though, Spencer Walt's trying to make sure that conveyor belt breaks down behind him.
Yeah, absolutely, but you saw Rick Spencer Walt just drift up quarter of truck length, half a truck length in the middle of turn 3 and 4. That killed his momentum a little bit, and that's allowed Nick Lights to get to his outside and for Michael Curran to get right up to the back bumper of the 31. Spencer Walt does just about clear Nick Lights for the race lead. He's going to want to get up to the top side quickly, but now shoots back low to block any run that Michael Curran might have, so he's having to kind of work the lanes almost as Michael Curran just gets to the inside there of Rick Spencer Walt, but that attack doors out there. Rick Spencer Walt still just about clear for the race lead, but Curran and Lights behind him applying the pressure.
Curran getting a little bit risky on these moves. Carter Casey going a little bit dive bombing on a move. York wasn't ready for it, nearly runs over the 24. Now for the race lead. Lights getting into a bit of contact. 2 different late model racers, 1 and 2. Lights trying the diamond line to see if he can get something to work that way.
Yeah, the diamond line might be better for Nick Lights to get the runs off the corner. You saw how he got to the inside there of the 31 coming out of turn 2 to the inside again. Coming off turn 4, he cuts the apron to shorten the distance that he's doing around the racetrack, and into turn 1, Lights goes. He takes the lead from Rick Spencer Watt, who now has pressure from Curran and Casey behind him. But now Curran gives a push to the 31, so the 31 should retain second place for the time being, but Carter Casey looking to take that right back there on the inside there in the number 8 Black Rifle Coffee Company machine. Spencer Waltz gets all kinds of loosies into the wall there. Might have got a little tap in the back there from Michael Curran. That'll drop him to the back of this particular pack, and Larry Eddy now up into P3 as they've got a back marker just ahead of them.
Not too many friends starting to build up right now. Ken Jones is the lap traffic, by the way. The 16 truck in 16th place. See how the leaders handle that in the next lap or so. That traffic is expected to be reached here. Looking like some of the aero tightness is really kicking in, though. Watch the 4. He's really pushing up on exit and struggling in the dirty air.
Yeah, this is the sort of time where you want to employ more of a diamond line and maybe cut back down a little off the exit just to make sure you're slightly under the driver in front of you to avoid driving too much in their wake, their dirty air, which takes a lot of front downforce off of your machine and really hurts your exit speed as you just push up the track and you're doing more distance around the racetrack without gaining any more exit speed. So you just bleed time as Maconi now applying the pressure to Larry Eddy, who gets a little bit wiggly through the apron there, the 03. Now to the inside of the 4, he's looking for position. Number 3 is Lights. And Casey now fighting for the lead. Carter Casey looking to lead his first laps of the night with just 20 to go as they come up on the lapper of Ken Jones.
That's now within about 5 truck lengths, and that's the thing. Jones, don't think realizes this yet. He is feeding some draft, but also a lot of dirty air to some of these drivers. This might actually help the outside a bit. Carter Casey may get pitched behind him, though, in the wrong spot. Lights up to the lead with the cut. And it looks like the 16 is choosing middle top. This could get tight by corner exit near contact to the leader as the lap car chooses the middle.
Yeah, Lights throwing it low to make sure that Maconi can't sneak and move to the inside as York, Eddie, and Curran sneak past the lapper of Ken Jones. The Ken Jones not having a massive impact on the race for the lead. We saw Lights just push up a little bit. That might allow Jeff Maconi to get to his inside. Not quite. So Nick Lights is still clear for the race lead. He takes it back after leading a few laps earlier on in this race. But we've still got around the top 10 pretty much, all under a blanket, being led by Nick Lights and Jeff Maconi, who are clear in positions 1 and 2 as they come to turn 3. Just 18 laps to go now, so time is ticking.
With 17 to go. Longest run of the race by far here at the moment. A lot of dirty air is starting to build up. A lot of people are wondering, how did you make something work? I think Maconi last time by, correct me if I'm wrong, just tried to bump and run on a Crosby truck driver.
Yeah, we know Nick Lights has experience in late models on the short track, so I'm sure he's accustomed to giving and receiving a few bump and runs in his time. I'm sure he knows how to deal with them. Maconi, though, turning up the aggression. He knows that he has limited time to get back to the lead. He now faces pressure for P2 from the 8 of Carter Casey, who looks to move to his outside. Rick Spencer Walt there in P6, looking for a potential move there on Michael Curran and Logan York. But that doesn't come to fruition for the time being.
Oh!
Maconi, Curran gets hit there.
Curran with a massive save avoids the grass for the race lead. As Lights watches Curran save it, he lost the inside of Maconi. Jeff Maconi has taken the bottom away. Lights is keeping it even, however. No help for the 20. Everybody wants to help the 03.
Yeah, we've seen the inside line be dominant so far, but now's the time where, as the tires begin to wear, we might see a resurgence from the outside. Maconi does clear Lights, though, critically for the race lead, and with Logan York down on the low side there, Lights cannot really go anywhere. Maconi drops low. Logan York now looking for a race high P2 there in the open as he washes up. Lights gets loose there for turn 4. Everyone has to duck down and avoid him there as Larry Eddy gets to his inside, but Logan York now up into a race high P2, but he now has Carter Casey on his inside. Larry Eddy looking to his outside as they're 3 wide. Greg Mitchell in the middle there, who's made up a few spots. Nick Lights down a few.
It's getting very tight here. Not a lot of space. Coming up to 12 laps to go in a couple times around. 13 at the stripe. There's Rick Spencer Walt yet again. A lot of drivers like Spencer Walt have been pushed and shoved, and Larry Airy pushed and shoved to the wall. The 4 truck, who was 4th last lap by, losing the draft now after contact off the 20 after smacking the wall. We stay green.
Yeah, has to be big damage for Larry Eddy, and barring a yellow, his race is all but done. He's going to lose the lead pack, and he's probably got some wheel damage, or at least some aero damage for good measure there on that number 4 truck. So a brilliant drive will likely not get the result it deserves here. Very unfortunate for Larry Eddy, as you see him. More scraping against the wall. More trouble down there.
And hard across the
Oh.
track. That's Davey now sent across the surface. And just missing. Blake Badu nearly floors it into him. Let's see what happened.
That's justifiable cool breath there on his outside. Looks like a bit of net code contact between himself and Davey Knoll. Davey Knoll not holding the brakes there. Almost gets clattered there by Madu there. And another truck as well came flying by just before that. So big damage there for Davey Knoll, but I think he'll have a fast repair at his disposal for him to use. So he might get a get out of jail free card there under this caution pit cycle. But now with such limited time to go, I have no doubt in my mind we'll see some two-tire pit stops, some guys staying out just for track position, and this is going to get dicey in these last 9 laps or so when we go back green.
And just about the entire field pitting here, except for the 63. An interesting play for Blake Madu, but he is several laps down. He'll have to come in next time by. Here's the tough thing. Anyone who tries the two-tire call is going to be pretty loose. You're talking about 20-plus laps on the left sides now.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for anyone who... Oh! Rick Spencer Walk big time misses his pit box. I think it was too far forward and too far left there.
Oh, look at that.
A big track position loss for Rick Spencer Walk. Jeff Maconi wins the race out of a pit lane there. And Rick Spencer Walk still in his pit box, so he's going to be pretty much dead last there in this group. He is last in this group now, so big losses there for Rick Spencer Walk, who was having a brilliant day up to this point. Almost took the lead after some trouble under caution a few laps ago during the first yellow of the evening, but now I think everyone pretty much is on 4 tires. No one taking the risk of going at 2 tires. No one's staying out or going for a splash and dash. So it's still Jeff Maconi, who led at the yellow flag, still leading and will control the restart when we come back green.
Coming up to 10 laps to go right now. Drivers trying to sort out their positions on the racetrack, but it's 2-tire calls on the front row. Everybody else in the field took 4. Now, that's flowing good, but here's the thing. Both of those drivers took 2, had the track position. But also, you're talking about a very loose condition possibly here. Remember, Nick Lights only made 2 tires work for about 9-10 laps before he bobbled away and moved to the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but there will only be about 8-9 laps to go when we go back green, so Nick Lights might be able to hold on to this, as might Maconi. He was leading at the yellow flag, which surprises me as to why he took only 2 tires. Maybe he was expecting everyone behind him to go for 2 tires as well. He didn't want to get jumped in the pits, which is fair enough. I don't think he was quite expecting everyone third on back to play it safe with a 4-tire call, so it'll be very interesting to see if the 03 and the 20 can hold on to this lead or whether they're going to get swallowed up by the chasing pack.
1 to go this upcoming time by. A reminder that Maconi Entertainment now has a website. Yes, Maconi Entertainment has the opportunity to be able to watch the broadcast directly from a central website, MaconiEntertainment.com. You can also learn about the series broadcast on the channel. You can also request information on how you can get your broadcasts on Maconi Entertainment to see your league or special event live on the air. Again, for more information, go to MaconiEntertainment.com to learn more about Maconi Entertainment. 1 to go signal. Getting set to go. It's Maconi and Lights, then it's York and Mitchell, Corhan and Casey, Colbreth and Jenkins, Gunter and Eddie. Your top 10. 16 trucks still running. Of those, 14 on the lead lap who can have a shot at the victory. This should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone third on back took the 4-tire call there, led by Greg Mitchell in the number 2 Chevrolet there. But the number 03 Chevrolet is going to be the one leading us back to the green flag. It'll be 8 laps to go when we restart this race, and not a lot of time for those further back on the lead lap. Near the 14th position, currently occupied by the 30 of Knoll there, further back. So limited time for those guys to get back towards the front, so we're going to see aggression at its peak on this restart. People are going to want to make positions quickly, because otherwise they'll just be languishing further back, and that is not what they want. They have a shot at the victory and they want to take it, and now the pace car will pull off momentarily. and the 03 will lead us to the restart with 8 to go.
All set to get back underway. Maconi in control of the field. Green flag is out. Just 8 circuits to go. A good launch for Jeff Maconi. Slow start for the outside. It's 4 wide at the back of the field. Several drivers couldn't get through the gears.
Yeah, maybe a couple missed shifts there or slow starts for some of those guys. They fanned out 4 wide, almost Pocono style there, near the outskirts of the top 10, but it's still Maconi clear for the lead. Lights retain second place, but he's got pressure from Logan York behind him. He can't take that back. Greg Mitchell just snuck out of our camera shot there. He led the 4 tire brigade. He's now just going to cling on to the outside there of Jeff Maconi. He's going to have the run, but Maconi cuts the apron, trying to clear Greg Mitchell down the straight. He's going to have help from Nick Lights, and Maconi does clear for the lead. But Logan York now in 4th place, might be looking to help Mitchell get to front. We might be 3 wide for the lead here coming off a turn 2.
We are indeed offset 3 for a moment, in fact. I'll push for the 2 machine, getting some help from York. Looking to use those fresher tires on the left side to be able to zip by to the right side of Maconi. Now it's getting a little bit close. No use of the apron this time, forcing them to ride up. 3 wide for 3rd. Carnahan sticking his nose in. That got close.
Jeff Maconi just led that last lap by just 2/1000ths of a second there. But Mitchell now looking for the race lead. He's still got help from Logan York, who's pushing him all the way. Maconi does not have such help from Nick Lights behind him. Mitchell almost clear for the race lead as the 03 looks to the inside of the 2, but the 2 should have the run off the corner. And he's going to be able to take the lead here off of turn number 4. 5 laps to go. Greg Mitchell to the lead for the first time tonight. Logan York looking to follow him.
Greg Mitchell looking to use the outside. Couldn't clear the bottom, though. Less than 5 laps to go. His help says no. It's 4 wide instead. Hard to the bottom. Contact. York. Technical issue. Spencer Walton nearly goes through him. They all hold on to it. Carter Casey, as a result, survives. What a move there to get through on the traffic.
Yeah, Logan York just got into the back there of Jeff Maconi in the 03. And now that allows Carter Casey to clear for the lead momentarily. He leads out with 4 laps to go, but Greg Mitchell not going to give it up after being hung out to dry a little bit there by his 4 tire buddy there, Logan York, who still runs in P5. Maconi gives a shot to the 2, trying to get him moving, but it's Colbreth now up to 3rd, 2nd on that inside line. So big moves from some of the guys that were further back. We see in the 77. They're also making some moves as Casey cuts the apron. Mitchell up high, still side by side for the lead.
Oh,
3 to
here
go.
we go.
Trouble.
Caution flag is out, hooked across the field. Shane Jenkins. And this means green-white checker territory. The 77 gets hooked around after contact for Rick Spencer-Walt. And this makes things wild.
This gets loose in contact with Nick Spencer-Walt. Or Rick Spencer-Walt, beg your pardon. Nick Lights gets a little bit of contact there. Hard impact for Shane Jenkins in the 77. Everyone further back manages to skate through, but we are going to have a green-white checker, so this is going to turn the race a little bit on its head.
And the time of this caution flag means one of 3 green-white checkered attempts available. Now, we get back racing. And that means overtime in the fog? Did you have this on your bingo card, let alone the fog?
I would, honestly, I expected this to be a lot more spread out. I was expecting a lot more, fanning out of the long green runs. I wasn't expecting the fog to really affect how multi-groove this would be. The inside line has been dominant all evening. There's never really been any kind of pace up near the wall or even in the second lane. When you're on the outside of a truck, you just kind of, after a couple of laps, unless you have far superior tires, we saw Mitchell struggling to get by Maconi, who was on 2 tires there, who is still in 4th place, is still all to play for there for the 03 machine. But now the top 3 all occupied by guys who took 4 tires at the last caution pit cycle. Casey, Mitchell, and Colbreth, your top 3, your current podium sitters. They will lead the fields of the green for the first of, I believe, 3 green-white checkered attempts. So just 2 laps to get it done, unless we crash before the white and we do it all again.
We have had some pit stops, though. 4 tire calls from 10th on back for the restart. Lights, Eddie, Loveridge, Davey Null getting damage repairs done. Have all elected to pit here. Is there going to be enough time for them to make up 9 spots in some of these cases in 3 miles?
They're going to have to get super aggressive because, they can't just go to the wall or go to the second lane and just power past everyone. There's not enough grip. There's too much grip. The inside line, it's just the shorter distance prevails all the way around. You can't do anything when you're on the outside, so they have to really get aggressive, start cutting the apron, or start diving super, super low just to do anything to get to the inside of these guys. That's the only way that they're going to make these moves as quickly as they need to, with just 3 miles to try and get themselves up to the lead. But 10th on back, when there's only, just over a dozen cars on the lead lap, I'd say you've got nothing to lose at that point. You may as well go for it because you can't really lose anything out. You can only gain. And if there's a wreck in front of you, that just makes your life a lot easier. Especially, they're going to be wanting to hope for more GWs at this point just to give them more time to make the moves that they need to.
One more pace lap before we can get to the restart setup. Because we have several lap trucks still getting service done on the respective machines. Remember, the next time we will have Fast Fridays on the racetrack, it's MX5 racing at the Charlotte Roval. That'll be April the 19th here on Maconi Entertainment. Your thoughts on that combo? Running some Miatas in a Roval.
Yeah, I mean, the MX5s at Charlotte Roval, it's, if you're on the road side of things, it will be one of the first combos that you run on the iRacing service in the Global Fanatec MX5 Cup there. It's one of those rookie combos that you see in the rookie series on iRacing, so it's a fun one. The MX5 is a super fun car to drive pretty much any road course, and the Charlotte Roval is a brilliant track for these guys to really push the limits of what the Mazda can do, and it's going to be a unique one for, a mainly stock car series.
You say it's usually a rookie series, but the funny thing is, when it comes to that, Will, is when you think about some of the drivers who have come from the league scene alone from the MX5 side, Elvis Rankin, you also throw in Racine Fazui, Brendan Hawken. A lot of your top competitors in special events and some of the money races have come through the ranks of running those MX5s and ran them a ton before breaking through in the past 5 years.
Oh yeah, so it's a great car to just, it's probably the most stock car-like road car. I would say it's definitely up there. The way it drives, it teaches you the basics of racing full stop on, and it's very transferable, to ovals and just the way it drives. So it's no surprise to me that a lot of MX5 drivers end up being successful in both oval and road disciplines. It is a brilliant car, and I think these guys are going to have a lot of fun with it in a week's time.
Let's see how much fun we have in green, white, checker territory, though. Remember, as long as we take the white flag, it's a race to the checkered. If there's an incident before the white flag, we'll use another attempt. If we go through all 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered with an incident before the white flag is taken by the leader, the race will finish under yellow. In control for the restart, Carter Casey. Craig Mitchell second. Colbreth Maconi. York, Spencer Walt. Curhan, Gunter, Jenkins, and Lights. Green, green, green. 3 miles to go.
Carter Casey got a brilliant launch there ahead of Mitchell in the chasing pack. Mitchell almost sneaks down to the bottom there. He's got Colbreth on his inside. Mitchell does get down to the low side. Carter Casey now going to be a bit of a sitting duck as these guys are going to have a slight run on him. Greg Mitchell to the outside looking for the lead as Casey blocks low to stop Colbreth getting to his inside. And 98 going to try and give a bit of a push there to the leader, Carter Casey's. Maconi maybe looking for an outside move. What's coming out of the turn 4. I think this race is going to be official. They're going to take the white flag. Carter Casey cutting the apron, 1 to go at Chicagoland.
Final time around for Fast Fridays to start off the spring season. Watching along for Maconi. He rides 4. Fresh tires making it 4 wide alongside Maconi. Down to the apron is Curhan. Side by side for the race lead. Casey tries to pull back Mitchell. Still 4 wide. Back to 3 wide. Maconi tries to run the fence. Casey tries to clear the field. A drag race for the win. Carter Casey gets it at Chicagoland.
That was an awesome finish. I think they're almost 5 wide on the back straight there coming into turn 3. These guys pulling no punches. Carter Casey led 10 laps, led the most important one, led the final lap, led the field to the checkers, and gets the win in the first race of Maconi Fast Fridays.
10 laps led for the 9 machine tonight. He gets the chance to celebrate. And he's, I think, going to find out pretty soon. He's already won the race by a good bit. It's burnout time, though, for the 9 truck. A lot to talk about when it comes to post-race here tonight. Carter Casey gets the job done and starts off Fast Fridays for the spring season in Victory Lane. Post-race coverage right after this. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for coverage of Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Setup Shop.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage of Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop of eNASCAR. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results for tonight as the foggy one comes to a close from Chicagoland Speedway. In the end tonight, it ends up coming down to a drag race. But one driver got the victory. It was Carter Casey, who picked it up over Greg Mitchell. Joshua Fireball Cobrat finished in third. Then it's Logan York and Jeff Maconi, the top 5. Curhan, Spencer Walt, Jenkins and Lights, and Shane Loveridge finished just within half a second of the win, but not enough to get the dub. He finishes in 10th.
Yeah, I think that you see those time intervals on the right-hand side of your screen there. Everyone in the top 13 finishing within a second of the leader. That really shows. You know, everyone in the top 10 within half a second. Top 11 within half a second. You see Larry Eddy there, 0.473 there. So it really just shows how close the racing was. I think the cold, foggy conditions really allowed these guys to stay kind of packed in. You know, Chicagoland, you typically see a lot of spreading out the multi-groove racing, but this was almost like a super speedway tonight. More than usual at these mile and a halfers in the NASCAR truck. So it was really entertaining to watch. And a drag race coming down to just half a tenth of a second, I think was perfect.
The rest of the drivers you see on screen who took part either in the final practices or in the racing sessions, 22 did take the starts here tonight. Look once more top to bottom at those who started off tonight, but it's Carter Casey who's the one who gets to celebrate the win. He's standing alongside Carter. You get the job done here tonight. How are you feeling about the win here in the foggy one at Chicagoland?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. That was some tight racing, a little bit of door slamming going on, and that was one of the most fun races I've ever had on iRacing, hands down. So thanks to everybody for making this possible. I didn't care where I finished, honestly. Those first 30 laps, that made the race fun in itself, and then we were lucky enough to get the win. So just thanks for everybody for making this possible. That puts this show on.
How would you describe your approach for the final restart, knowing fresh tires were starting towards the back of the group, but also knowing we were seen 4 wide for the race lead in some of these runs?
Yeah, it was protect the bottom at all costs, but not to a point where you'd wreck yourself. There were people earlier before that were blocking me to the white line, and I mean, I did some things that I don't normally do, but I was taking it below the white just to kind of get that extra real estate you needed, because everybody was so on top of each other. You had to take what you could get. If it was next to the grass on the back straight, that's what you had to take, if you had to run. And so I took that there, and it was protect the bottom, but be smart over the bumps in 3 and 4 to not full throttle it and then push yourself wide off of exit there off of 4. And yeah, just try to protect the bottom. Make sure that you don't go too early, too late on the restart zone. You don't want to get out to too big of a lead. And I felt like I did a decent job of that. Managed the run from behind by just kind of getting a mediocre restart, not too good of a restart there. That was kind of what was going through my mind.
Now, curious on this. We did get foggy conditions coming in. We've seen a lot of fog in the daytime for the sim, but never at nighttime. So, what was it like essentially driving the sim racing equivalent of driving on a dirt road in the middle of the night?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad until I went to go to pit road and I started searching a little too hard for my pit road sign. I figured I was going to miss my pit stall. Aside from that, it was actually pretty well lit. The lights here at Chicago did a good job of giving you the ability to see down the back straightaway, but it was a cool backdrop at the same time. You could definitely see the fog, but as far as the racing surface goes from the cockpit, you could see where you're going. But pit road, that's where it kind of got a little bit sketchy. So it was an interesting mix for sure. I know iRacing updated the weather and everything, so you never know what you're gonna get there. So, but it was manageable and it was a lot of fun. It was a cool deal to run in the race tonight.
So, on that note, who do you want to thank for the run tonight?
Yeah, thank you and everybody over here with Maconi Entertainment for broadcasting, and just a big shout out to Fireball Talks NASCAR. He puts on our league race Saturday night Thunder on Saturday nights for our Xfinity League that me and Vinny Tigner we co-own. So big shout out to him. I know he's a partner with y'all for some of the Friday night stuff, and just super appreciative of everybody that makes this possible.
Just so you're aware, he's our producer tonight, so I'm pretty certain he appreciates the words since he just heard them directly. For those who didn't hear, he just said, I'm right here. Thank you very much for the time, Carter. Congrats to the win.
All right, thank you.
Carter Casey gets it done here tonight. We also have third spot standing on by. It's Joshua Fireball Colbreth with William.
Yeah, Joshua, P3 finish tonight. Sum up how that one feels for me.
Dude, it feels good. I don't think I've done Chicagoland in probably about a year. I've been waiting because I haven't had a track for this, and I've just been waiting and waiting, and it finally showed up, and I took the chance, and I guess it worked out pretty darn good, I think.
Yeah, third place definitely not too shabby at all there. But obviously, you're just a tenth of a second off the winner, eventual winner, Carter Casey. What do you think you needed to do there to maybe just sneak by Carter, or do you think third was the maximum you could get out of tonight?
I think if we didn't go like 5 wide there, I think I could have had a chance in the lead, but it slowed my pace down. I just didn't have enough speed for the leaders at the end. But overall, that was an amazing finish there.
Oh, good, buddy. Well, who do you want to thank for getting that awesome number 5 truck out there on the track tonight, getting on the first step of the podium?
Pretty much just me, myself, and I, and my parents, I guess. Pretty much, yeah, for me buying the track.
Oh, good, buddy. Well, congratulations again on that third place finish. Well deserved.
Thanks.
Once again, a solid run tonight from Joshua Fireball Colbreth. We have also just had Greg Mitchell jump on in. Greg, how would you describe your race tonight? You were so close to getting the dub. Greg Mitchell, I like to inform you, I believe in sim you're pressing your mic, but not for the broadcast.
I got you now.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I heard you. My race was a little bit up and down, but had a good time. I think someone broke loose under me that first caution and had to go to the rear, so that was fun. But everyone had they were racing pretty hard. You could tell a lot of trucks were breaking loose, but everyone did a pretty good job racing door to door. So it was kind of fun to work my way back up through the field.
What was the thought process about the restart from your perspective there? Because we've seen a lot of shuffling. You got bumped out of the way a couple times, mind you, tonight. What was that approach for that restart?
Yeah, I would have much rather been in third. Second's always tough because you just got to maintain that speed, and then you obviously don't know when the leader's going to go. So that's always hard. But I didn't know if he had 2 tires or 4 tires either. So I was just going to try to get to the bottom if I could, but he protected that pretty well. So I had no other chance but to go to the high side. But yeah, second's probably the hardest spot.
So that leaves the next race coming up. Your thoughts on the next one, because will we be seeing you for MX5s at the Charlotte Roval? Yes or no, and why?
Yeah, I'll definitely try to make it. That was my first time being here, and just thought I'd give it a shot and had a good time. So I'll try to make as many of these as I can. This was really fun.
Anyone who wanted to give a shout out to tonight?
No, just to you guys for running the broadcast, and to Jeff for putting everything on, and Michael Curhan's a friend of mine. He's the one who invited me out here, so thanks to him for the invite.
Once again, congratulations on the podium, Greg.
All right, thank you guys very much.
It's Greg Mitchell rounding out your top 3 here tonight. I'd like to thank him, Carter Casey, Joshua Colbreth for taking time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. William, on that note, your final thoughts on the opening race of the springtime here at Chicagoland in the midst of the fog?
Yeah, absolutely. It was challenging, but it was awesome to watch. I think definitely a worthy first race of this spring campaign here for Maconi Fast Fridays. Next week will be MX5 Charlotte Roval, so pretty much an opposite kart track combo to what we saw tonight. The trucks at Chicagoland put on a brilliant show, though. The drag race at the line was the cherry on top. They're just half a tenth between our top 2 finishes, and it was awesome to hear from all the top 3 guys. Got their valuable insight there into what was needed to take the checkered flag, and obviously taken by Carter Casey, who has his first win in Maconi Fast Friday. So a good start to the season for him, and I'm excited to hit the Charlotte Roval in the Mazdas now.
We'll see what happens next time out again in about a week's time. We see how things play out from Charlotte Motor Speedway. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank tonight's race sponsors, Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Competizone. Calling the action to myself tonight. Well, calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside William White in the booth with David Kreitz producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. I hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next Fast Fridays race. And don't forget to tune in each week for a broadcast of the top split for the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you at the checkered flag.